Mr. Trump, sir, if I would remind you, Ms. Crockett passed the LSAT and the bar exam. So, have you? Okay. Are you trying to make us think you're smart again, Trump? I got it. Okay, it's your inner child talking. We know you're not that brilliant, sir. As a matter of fact, by you continuing to talk about the IQ of other people, it only exposes how small your IQ is. That's the way it works.
Good evening, America. Welcome to Satiric News. Tonight, we're diving deep into the mind of Donald J. Trump. Our commander-in-chief has once again escaped nap time, stolen a crayon, and started scribbling low IQ on every woman smarter than him, which, to be fair, is a very long list. This is a man who thinks passing a cognitive test makes him Einstein. Sir, they asked you to identify a giraffe. That's not a test. That's enrichment time at the zoo. He said it was a very hard test. Sir, you drew a clock. That's not mental fitness. That's Tuesday at preschool.
They have Jasmine Crockett, a low IQ person. They have AOC's low IQ. If you give her an IQ test, have her pass like the exams that I decided to take when I was at Walter Reed. Those are very hard, they're really aptitude tests, I guess, in a certain way, but they're cognitive tests. Let AOC go against Trump. Let Jasmine go against Trump. I don't think Jasmine, the first couple of questions are easy. A tiger, an elephant, a giraffe, you know. When you get up to about 5 or 6, and then when you get up to 10 and 20 and 25, they couldn't come close to answering any of those questions.
Listen, I'm waiting on a reporter, and maybe it'll be you, Caitlin, that finally ask him what is his IQ, because he is constantly talking about, he doesn't even know what a low IQ is. He don't even know which scores are low. And I can guarantee you that whatever score, if he's taken one anytime recently, I'm sure that his qualifies as low. Listen, he's never been known to be an Einstein. This is not a guy who got in on merit when it came to going to college. This is someone who, but for him being born with a silver spoon, probably wouldn't have got into anybody's institution, unlike me. So, I am not worried about that. And I wish people would look at the fact that you have a president of the United States who consistently is obsessing over 2 women of color that are members of the House. You are the president. You have a lot more power than we do, but obviously you consistently feel threatened. And that is why we have seen, the attacks on black women in general from this administration. I don't know what black woman hurt him in his past, honey, but it is really taking him through it. But I really wish, for the sake of this country and honestly for the sake of the world, that he would focus on his real job and stop worrying about me. My constituents would worry about whether or not I have an adequate IQ, even though that's not the test that he's taking. And it's up to them to decide. It's not him. He can't hire me or fire me, unfortunately for him.
Jasmine Crockett, attorney, congresswoman, and certified intellectual threat to fragile egos everywhere, responded like a queen with receipts. She said, "I'm waiting on a reporter to ask Trump what his IQ even is." And that's fair, because this man talks about IQ the way toddlers talk about dinosaurs. Loud, confident, and completely wrong. Let's be honest, if Donald Trump ever took a real IQ test, it would come back with an error message that says, "Try turning it off and on again." Jasmine pointed out the obvious. He's obsessed, not just with her, but with every woman of color who doesn't smile and curtsy when he enters the room. And you can tell she's right, because nothing terrifies an insecure man quite like a confident black woman who reads contracts before signing them. You ever notice he always targets women who can legally argue him into a corner? Jasmine Crockett passed the bar. Trump passed gas on the Constitution. Trump has been spiraling since the Obama years, ever since he realized the most powerful man in the world was a black Harvard graduate with no bankruptcies and actual reading comprehension. He's been in emotional foreclosure ever since.
He's scared of rejection, but he gets it. So he tries to surround himself with people that, well, are yes men and yes women. He's afraid of authentic human beings like yourself. So he surrounds himself with individuals who could not find an authentic bone in their body if their lives depended on it. If Donald Trump's IQ was equivalent to a 12-year-old, we wouldn't be in a shutdown right now because it's real simple. And IQ, by the way, is not simply based on intellect, but your ability to empathize and to sympathize with other people. So when you don't have that as part of your equation or the calculus of IQ, you're already deficient in your intellectual integrity. You have very little.
Rashad might be onto something. Trump's emotional IQ isn't just low, it's on clearance. If emotional maturity were a grade level, Trump would still be in detention trying to eat paste labeled executive privilege. 12-year-olds at least know how to apologize when they're wrong. Trump? He'd call the school board rigged, fire the principal, and sue the janitor. IQ isn't just about intellect, it's about empathy, something Trump treats like a foreign language he refuses to learn.
So Trump went after these two women of color. AOC was quick to respond as well. AOC said, hello, Mr. President, out of curiosity, did those doctors ask you to draw a clock by any chance? Was that part hard for you too? Asking for 350 million people. You know, I mean, what can you say? You just clap back and keep going. He's the leader of the free world, inadequate in all of his duties, has appointed people that are not qualified so he can control them, and he happens to not be in control of a damn thing. Ironic.
And then came AOC, casually dropping the funniest line of the week like it was a tweet sent from the intellectual stratosphere. Hello, Mr. President. Out of curiosity, did those doctors ask you to draw a clock too? Was that hard? Asking for 340 million people? Let's just appreciate that image for a moment. A 78-year-old man, orange crayon in hand, sweating over a clock like it's the nuclear launch code. He's sitting there muttering, "What comes after 11 again?" while bragging he's the smartest person in the room. Sir, if you have to draw the clock to prove you can tell time, maybe don't lecture Congresswomen who can argue constitutional law before breakfast. AOC didn't just roast him. She turned his cognitive test into performance art. And Jasmine Crockett turned his insecurities into a case study for large ego fragility in decline.
He loves talking to the reporters on Air Force One. For whatever reason, after the White House had been trying to keep it swept under the rug, he revealed that he had an MRI when he had that physical and revealed that he took a cognitive test, which he aced, of course, much more so than any dumb lady Democrat could.
They have Jasmine Crockett, a low IQ person. They have AOC's low IQ. You give her an IQ test, have her pass like the exams that I decided to take. Let AOC go against Trump. Let Jasmine go against Trump. I don't think Jasmine, the first couple of questions are easy. A tiger, an elephant, a giraffe, you know. When you get up to about 5 or 6, and then when you get up to 10 and 20 and 25, they couldn't come close to answering any of those questions.
Now, you know what? There's only one way to find out. Let's do it on TV. Let's put together the biggest and greatest IQ test of all time. Donald Trump versus Jasmine Crockett. Crockett versus Tubbs. And AOC. Let's make this happen. I'm serious. I mean, I'm willing to do whatever. I'll host it. I'll produce the whole thing. I'll pay for it. Grandpa Don's Dementia Bowl, folks. Maybe we could make it the undercard before that UFC fight they're having on the White House lawn. All proceeds go to fund the government. We seriously need to do this. I'm sure the president would win. I mean, he's almost a doctor. Did you see his post yesterday? He said, pregnant women, don't use Tylenol unless absolutely necessary. Don't give Tylenol to your young child for virtually any reason. Break up the MMR shot into 3 totally separate shots, not mixed. Take chicken pea shot separately. Take hepatitis B shot at 12 years old or older, and importantly, take vaccine in 5 separate medical visits. President DJT. He sent this from Malaysia. Chicken pea. I mean, do you think the ox was too much to type, or did he just forget how to spell it? Because that wasn't the issue for hepatitis. He grabbed them by the hepatitis for sure. That is the president of our country.
So what did we learn tonight? That Donald Trump has the emotional range of a traffic cone. That Jasmine Crockett and AOC don't just live rent-free in his head, they've taken out a 30-year mortgage with zero down. And that whenever a powerful woman of color speaks, Trump's ego spontaneously combusts like an unlicensed fireworks stand. If Trump really wants to prove his genius, he doesn't need another rally or another cognitive test. He just needs to survive a 5-minute conversation with Jasmine Crockett without Googling, what does IQ mean? Overall, Rashad is right. This attack on their intellect isn't projection, it's confession. Trump doesn't attack smart women of color because he's brave. He doesn't because deep down he knows. The last test he ever passed involved matching animals to shapes on a coloring sheet. He can't run a government, so he runs a circus. The elephants are angry, the clowns are testifying, and the ringmaster's IQ just tested negative for empathy. This has been Satiric News, reminding you, when the president can't handle women with diplomas, it's not politics, it's emotional foreclosure.